My name is Steve Dolinsky. I'm the founder of Pizza City Fest. Welcome, guys. Great to have you here. Yeah, all right. Anybody from Chicago? All right. What part? Burbs. Love the Burbs. 708-630-847. You got it, guys. Okay, our next demonstration, this is the last of the day, because we do 2 every day. We do a panel discussion and a demo. Now we got a demo. It's basically mastering the dough. It's how do you make pizza at home in any kind of oven. If it's a gas oven, if it's a wood-fired oven, maybe you got a Gosney or a little uni in your backyard. Maybe you got something fancier, gas-fired, even just a plain old, like the home oven that I have that gets to 5 1/4. I know I'm not going to make Neapolitan pizzas at home. I'm probably going to make a pan style or a tavern thin, but that's okay because I know what the limitations of my oven are. We've got 2 great chefs here today. I love both these places. Da Michele is obviously known for Neapolitan. Hot Tongue, known for several styles now. I know Alex will, maybe he won't say this, but I will. On Mondays at Hot Tongue in Silver Lake, Midwestern tavern style thin, as good as anything I've had in Chicago. I swear to God. Very, very good stuff. I had it last Monday. Delicious. And I heard on Tuesday he does a pan pizza, and I heard anyway, all kinds of dough he is working with, so I'm excited to hear what he has to say. But leading the discussion today, our big friend of Pizza City Fest, you've probably heard his voice on the LA Food Pod. He also has a crazy challenge every year. He's eating 100 of something. He did 100 pizza slices one year. He did 100 noodles dishes. This year he's doing 100 burgers. I don't know how he does it and stays so thin. Maybe he'll share his Ozempic secret with us. Please give a warm Pizza City Fest welcome to Luca Servodio.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you to Ozempic for keeping me so thin. Hey, everybody, how's it going? I'm Luca Servodio. Nice to meet you all. You're going to be learning how to make pizza at home today. I got a question for the audience first. How many people here actually make pizza at home? Raise your hands.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's quite a number. How many of you consider yourselves beginners? Okay. Intermediate? Okay. How about advanced? Okay, we got an advanced pizza maker over there as well. Any professional pizza makers? Okay, a couple pros maybe in the back. Question for you. How many of you make pizza on an electric or gas oven? Okay, quite a few. How many of you have a wood-fired oven or an uni or a Gosney, which approximates that? Okay, about a 50-50 split. Well, today we're going to learn how to make pizza at home, both with an electric/gas oven and with a wood-fired oven. We've got 2 amazing pizzaiolos, which Steve already semi-introduced, but I'm going to introduce a little bit more in depth. Working on the electric and gas front in the back there, he is the chef and owner of Hot Tongue Pizzeria in Silver Lake. He's also the host of an incredible podcast called Pie to Pie. If you are a pizza fan, you got to listen to his podcast. It's Alex Coons. Give it up for Alex Coons. In the front here, from one of Los Angeles' most popular Neapolitan-style pizzerias over in Hollywood, it's called Antica Pizzeria da Michele, or as Americans call it, L'Antica. It is in Hollywood. It's Chef Giuseppe Gentile. We've got Maggie here too. Give it up for them. All right, we're going to start with a simple icebreaker here. Chef Giuseppe, what's the best slice you've had today?
Like Tony.
He said it, Tony Gemignani. That was his favorite. Okay.
I love Tony.
Alex, best slice you've had today?
D-Town.
D-Town.
D-Town in the house, baby.
D-Town, okay.
No, I still didn't go around, so I didn't check them out yet.
All right, he still needs to go around, so
Yeah.
he's still checking it out, okay? All right, we're actually going to start with Alex back here to learn about electric/gas ovens first. Alex, before we begin, can you just tell the people what kind of pizza you make at Hot Tongue?
We do a sourdough pizza. We use the same dough. We just proof it differently. So I feel like that's where all the magic is for us. I brought 2 tools, which is my watch and a thermometer, because time and temperature when you're making dough is the most important thing. So it's, grain and your ingredients, that's all good stuff, but it's time and temperature, and that's how we are able to do like 3 or 4 different styles with the same recipe.
So that's at your shop, but at home, what are you? First of all, are you?
I can do that all
pizzas
at home too. Yeah, well, yeah, if my wife lets me.
Okay, if she lets you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably like the last thing she wants me to do, but We fire up the Gosney every once in a while, and yes, we can make these same styles in a home oven.
Okay, so walk us through the equipment you need. Are those the only two pieces of equipment you need to make pizza at home?
All right, so I have this like Detroit style pan, which is easily able to get this on Amazon. This is a Lloyd pan. It doesn't have to be Lloyd. You can use any kind of like Detroit-esque style pan. There's definitely cheaper options. And then the magic ingredient here, which a lot of professionals don't know about, is Crisco. Lubricating your pan is very important, and I'm probably going to say a lot of things Giuseppe might say that is the wrong way of doing things, but Crisco is the way. It's very hard to push out proofed dough. Olive oil is something that people use a lot in their pan, and then you press it out. Crisco is much easier to use. It snaps back, and it actually has a pretty decent flavor.
Damn, so Crisco is the unsung hero of your pizza at home.
It is. Every pie maker that I have told, like, I'm having problems with my squares. Like, they keep snapping back. It's the stretches. It's like, are you using Crisco? And they're like, no, dude, I'm not using Crisco. Why would I use Crisco? And I was like, well, you don't know what you're doing.
That is your main problem. Okay, so that's the equipment. Talk us through the ingredients you use to make your dough at home.
All right, so I wouldn't put too much emphasis on like getting the right recipe or worry too much about that. I think that's what people do. Like, there's so much information on the internet, and too much information is not good information. Really, with ChatGPT, you can literally be like, "You're Tony G. Give me a sick pan recipe," and they'll dial something up. The problem is when you find recipes, it's usually all the stuff they have. The recipe is good, but the process is usually flawed. So you don't need to do 15 steps. It should be like 3 or 4 steps. Again, time and temperature is your best friend. It doesn't have to be anything fancy.
Okay, that makes sense. So when you actually start making the dough, when I'm making pizza at home, I always feel like I'm at a disadvantage because I don't actually have a mixer. I'm mixing it by hand. Do you have a preference? Mix it by hand, mix it with a mixer?
No, I think, are you doing some hand mixing today?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hand,
you'll see. I mean, as long as you got a big bowl or like, and you're stretching and you're going over. I mean, again, like, I learned everything on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube University. That's where I started. That's how I got here. Those are my credentials on stage here. I've been doing it for a very long time. But anytime I don't know about anything, I literally Google it, and that's what you can do. I mean, I don't have the dough. You're probably going to do a great, example of what you should be doing, but I would check it out on YouTube.
Fair. Okay.
That's my sage advice as we're at a demo.
Use YouTube is
Go to
the
YouTube.
lesson you're
Don't
going to
come
walk
here.
away with today is use YouTube. Let's talk about yeast real quick. I know there's a little bit of debate about active dry versus fresh versus sourdough. What do you use if you're at home? Do you have a preference?
I would rather work with yeast than work with sourdough. We use sourdough at the shop, and I cook with it at home, but it's a pain in the ass because of the amount of love and care. It's a living being that you have to take care of, and you can get a great, crispy, light, airy product with just fresh yeast or instant yeast or whatever. And so I would say if you love pain and you really want to test your limits, try out sourdough. If not, there is great recipes that is just a straight direct mix.
Who uses sourdough at home? Okay, good number actually. And most other people use yeast, I assume? Okay. And what about actually like when you're making your dough, how far in advance do you make it if you're making it at home for this particular style of pizza? Are you making it days in advance or can you make it day of?
No, I wouldn't do day of dough. I mean, there's definitely recipes for day of dough, but again, fermentation is like, that's where you're getting all the flavors. So like a longer ferment and that extra time is the beauty of things. You can still get a great product if you like maybe do everything at room temperature and let it sit out for 9 hours. I mean, I know restaurants that do that, great product, but for like a square, I'm gonna at least take 24 hours to let this proof before I even push it out.
Wow, 24 hours at least.
Yeah, well, that's why like everyone's like, oh, I'll just get my dough at Trader Joe's. Like 24 hours, hell no, dude.
What's the problem with getting your dough at Trader Joe's?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with getting your dough at Trader Joe's. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that.
If that's what you want to do, get your dough at Trader Joe's.
Like I said backstage, the rules are there are no rules.
I love it. So the dough you make for your Detroit style, could you also make that to make like a round pizza at home as well? Or
Yeah, so I would use the same dough. So the square dough that I use is the same dough that we're using outside for our cheese pizza that I would cook at home as well. The difference is this goes in the fridge after 4 like bench folds, goes right in the cooler. It's balled up. It ferments for usually 3 days. We take it out, we let it sit for 2 hours, and I always let my dough kind of come to room temperature before cooking it. But with the square, this sits out for an extra 6 hours outside of the fridge. It rests after 4 hours. Are you following me?
It's a lot of hours.
Yes, it's a lot of hours. There's 4 hours it sits out, and then we push it out. Like I can do it. You push this out again. If you can see, it's not like snapping back. That Crisco kind of grabs it. So we're going to push that out. And then it's nice and bubbly. Okay. And then it sits out for another 4 hours. Okay. Then we put it to sleep. We take it out in the morning. We let it sit out for another 4 hours. And again, this is just our process. You don't have to do this. There's definitely other ways of doing it quicker. It's just, I think the magic of pizza is finding the process that works for you, and you have to fail a shit ton. Failing is the best thing in life because it's really the best way to learn. And I can tell you I have failed quite a bit. I failed my way onto this stage.
I was going to say, is failing the best thing in life? Maybe not the best thing in life.
I would argue that I have learned the best lessons from failure. And I would say maybe not at the time it was the best thing, but I would not be the person I am without those failures.
I love it. So let's talk about the bake. So you're working with your home oven, nothing special, no uni, no gosni, okay? What are you setting the temperature at, and how are you ensuring that it comes out well with what you're given from your landlord?
Well, listen, there's a lot of mods, again, on YouTube. You can rewire that oven to get that sucker up to like 700 degrees if you want to burn your house down, okay?
You did not learn that here.
You shoot that shit up
here.
It'll be lit in the kitchen. But the best thing I would say is like there's so many tools that you can use at home now, like the baking steel, or like even going to like Target and getting an oven stone. Totally recommend doing that. You don't need a gosni, you don't need an uni. Buy a $45 oven stone, and you can just straight be cooking some of the best pies, better pies than there probably are outside, which is crazy. And it's worth noting that a lot of people that are out there today and tomorrow, that's how they started. They knew nothing about pizza. They just started making it the way that they wanted. They probably used YouTube, probably had an oven stone, and I think it's really all about, I can sit up here on stage and tell you all the things that I've done, but it is really about failure.
Failure. It's like trial and error.
That's right. Because my system is going to work for me, but your kitchens are all very different. But the thing I would recommend is just cranking the shit out of your oven, putting an oven stone in there, like 550. I think that's usually the highest they go, and like preheating for 45 minutes.
So the goal is to get it as hot as possible regardless.
100%, because heat is going to be your best friend. You want that quick rise, you want a crisp under bottom, and that's going to help with the baking steel or that cheap Target stone.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the cheap Target stone. Is that what you got? Is that a par bake dough you got?
Yeah,
there?
so I brought a par bake, and this is, again, I'm a big fan of Crisco. Crisco, if you're out there, I'll take a sponsorship. Crisco, you get this nice brown, and you can do this with olive oil too, but Crisco also gives you like this weird, like nostalgic flavor. You don't even know, like most people, if I told them it was Crisco, they'd be like, that's crazy, but Crisco kind of tastes like childhood. I don't know what that is, probably because maybe my parents didn't use the best ingredients.
No, that's a great tagline for them. Crisco, tastes like childhood.
Yes.
I love it.
But there's that like tinge of greasiness and crispiness that really only works if you use Crisco.
So for entertaining at home, so this is going to be the last question for you here, then we're going to move on to wood fire, but for like entertaining at home, do you recommend par baking the pies and then finishing them off when your guests get there?
Yeah, I would say that even in restaurants, I think cooking from raw is kind of crazy. It's not very consistent, and if you do it, like you can pull it off, but your oven's gonna lose heat. A lot of the time, you'll know if somebody's not par baking because it'll be super doughy on the inside, which some people like. Totally cool. It's way more consistent when you par bake the dough. It's much easier to use, and to me, I think you get a better product.
Well, thank you, Alex. We're going to come back to you afterwards for the Q&A. But in the meantime, give it up for Alex Coons over here.
Thank you.
I think it's time to learn a little bit about wood fire. Why don't we move over here,
Yes,
Giuseppe?
yes.
Maggie, did you want to tell us a little bit about l'Antica Pizzeria
A
di Michele
little
before we
bit.
begin?
Ciao ragazzi. Both of us are actually trained pizzaiolos. Only one of us is Italian. I don't know if you can guess. But I'm the director of ops for all of l'Antica Pizzeria da Michele in USA. Has anybody dined at any of the Da Michele's? Yes. In Naples? Napoli? Anyone? Nice. Perfect. So we actually have 72 locations in Europe, Asia, Africa, including Libya, Singapore, Japan, all around. But the ones that I'm in charge of are the ones in the United States. So there's 5 of us. We've been around since 1870. Same recipe used, 153 years old. This is the original family. They are still a part of like all operations. They still oversee the recipes. The pizzaiolos still come once a year just to check on quality, to make sure that we're using the right ingredients. We are mandated to have 3 of the ingredients imported from Italy still. So it's our cheese, our 00 flour, and our San Marzano tomatoes. And we'll show you a little bit about that today, but we're true to our recipe. The only difference between our recipe and the traditional Neapolitan style recipe is our pizzas are ginormous. So we have a style that's called Ruta de Cara. It's the diameter of this,
This.
Wow.
It's a 16-inch pizza, yeah.
16 inches.
And I know if you've been to a Neapolitan pizza place, it usually fits on one personal plate. This
Yeah,
is probably
yeah.
like two times the size of that?
It is. It's about 2 times the size, but it's extra thin, so you can eat it on. Oh, I can eat it on my own. I can eat a whole pizza, or you can definitely share different flavors and styles with your friend or the person that you're with.
Awesome. Okay, so obviously you're making this out of a restaurant where you've got an incredible wood burning oven. Can a person make this pizza successfully at home?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Long pause there. Oh, God.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
God.
can.
I tried, ideally comes almost the same, but it's never gonna be the same because the oven that we use is at 1000 degrees, so the cooking is brutal, like brutal. It goes in, 40 seconds is out, and the blistering that happen in the oven, it may not happen at home. We tried to with Oni and other situation. Is the same, but the chewiness and the aspect of the pizza is never gonna be the same.
Yeah.
So it's
So you're essentially going to show us how to get the closest version possible at home.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So with some patience, all with dough fermented or no, you need patience. It's like if you want a pizza in a rush, it's a pizza. It's the basics: water, yeast, salt, and flour. It will come out a pizza, like my kids do all the time. But the end of the product is always different, always. Like, it makes a difference. So today we'll do like the basic, the way we do it, and then you can do at home. The oven makes a difference, that I can say.
That makes sense. So Giuseppe, talk us through the ingredients you use in order to make one of these pizzas.
Okay, this pizza has been done like this for decades, so I'm not gonna change it today. So when we say, oh, you guys are adding the salt at the end or before, so the way we're doing is water. It's usually 65% hydration, so I'm gonna add the water in a bowl.
What temperature is the water? Does it matter?
It does matter during winter or summer. So let's say now it's super hot, we go cold, ice, always wait in the ice. We don't want to add the ice on top of the water, then it's gonna be too much. And when it's winter, we go warmer, room temperature water. In fact, we let it sit outside and we use it. So what is shocked me when I start with the Michele is that this is what they do. So it's really water and salt. You say, oh, you add in salt first. Yeah, this is the way it's been done for decades now.
Because the answer to your
The
question
answer is
because.
just because.
Yeah.
That's the
Just-
way it's been done. That sounds like, yeah, well, my parents used to tell me as a kid, just because, you know.
Uh-huh. So the solution here needs to be dissolved before we add any other ingredients. So let's make sure we dissolve the salt so it's not a direct contact with the yeast, and then it's gonna die. So in this case, it's all dissolved. Now we proceed with our yeast.
What yeast are you using?
It's fresh yeast. Like if you cannot find it, we can use dry yeast, usually double the amount.
Are there any differences when you're making it with fresh yeast versus dry yeast in terms of like preparation and what you're doing?
It's hard to say. Like fermentation, I'll say I can see a bit the difference, but it's really hard. It's like a minimal. So now that everything is dissolved, so we got all in. Now we have our flour. So it's a kilo of flour, 650 of water.
And what kind of flour are you using?
The Caputo Blue 00, because that's important for the elasticity of this pizza, because it needs to be really big. We need to stretch it really big. So we need that. So to achieve that one, we just mix some of the flour to make a paste consistency like this.
Now, is it always mixed by hand or do you mix by machine at the store?
Okay, originally they started by hand. Now we do in machine because it's gonna take a long time. I'll explain right now. Though at home you can do by hand, but if you have a mixer, it will help a lot your life. Yeah.
So in Napoli, they still like 500 nonas are like mixing it by hand. At our Hollywood location, we make about 700 margarita pizzas a week. In Napoli, they make 2,000 a day. So it's just a lot of mixing.
Yeah.
Nona employment in Naples is through the roof.
Yeah, there are literally in the morning 8 people around the table just doing balls, bowling. It's a lot of balls. So now that we have this paste consistency, we can add the rest. And we mix. So this process, it's really basic. We don't add anything else. It's just the salt, yeast, water, and flour. And it will take 20 minutes, the first round. So we mix for 20 minutes. In fact, if you are doing at home, like my wife even say, how you do that the whole time? It's like, you need arms.
So it's a good workout is what you're saying.
It is, yes.
So 20 minutes is the amount you want to be kneading the dough for.
Yes, so we need 20 minutes. And you'll see it's rough, it's still sticky. Once we got to this point, we keep mixing, and then we let it rest like 15-20 minutes in the machine or in the bowl, cover up. Once it's done, we keep mixing again another 20 minutes. So 35-40 minutes is the best time for our dough to help us stretch the way we want.
So let me get this straight. You knead it for 20 minutes at first.
Yes.
Then you let it rest for how long?
Another 15-20 minutes.
15, 20, and then another 20
And
minutes.
then we do 20 minutes of mixing again.
Do you get bored of kneading?
No, somehow it's fun.
You just turn on the music and you
There's
just
a
go for
soccer.
it?
There's
Yeah.
always a soccer
There is
game on
always
in the
music.
back.
Always a soccer game. I know that.
And I'll say, because you see changing, like you never get tired of it because it keeps changing. It's never the same product. So like in 20 minutes, it's gonna change. It's gonna get more relaxed. And then we mix again to make it like the gluten be really tight. So we keep stretching.
So how do you know when it's ready?
At the end, if it's in the machine, you'll see that it's really like, it cleans out the whole machine. So it's clean. It's still sticky, but not too much. So like you can rip apart or do, it's not that sticky anymore. And like when you push with the fingers and comes up, it's ready. In this case, if you see, it's still in there, so it needs to rest.
Yeah.
So-
So when it's ready, it's very tight. It bounces back. That elasticity is there.
Yes.
Do you ever do the little trick where you pull a little bit and you see if it's got the gluten window?
Not now. In this phase, still not. Like we need at least 10 hours, 8 hours, and then you open up and you see the gluten like a spider web, but not right now.
So you can't rush the window. You
No.
can't rush it.
So once we have our 40 minutes are gone through, we take the whole bulk of dough, we put on the side at room temperature and stays there for 12 hours. So this dough is being out 12 hours. I brought some that we did yesterday, and this is the difference. Oh, no, like this.
Wow.
Okay.
So that's the day after.
This is 12 hours later. This is the product. See how smooth it is? So once we have this, always at room temperature. Now, if it's winter, it's fine. If it's summer, we see too hot, the room temperature is getting really hot. We have air conditioning set, so we know to leave it out. But if we see it's too hot, then we keep in the fridge overnight, and then early in the morning we take it out. So we adjust the temperature there.
Got it. So winter, no need to put it in the fridge. Room temperature is fine.
Yeah, super
but
fine.
if it's hot, you want to control that temperature.
Yes, because in 6-7 hours it's gonna be already overdone.
Okay.
So once we got to our 12 hours, what we do is like what we do in Naples everywhere. We cut and we bowl. So our bowl, because the pizza is big, we do 320 grams. So in this case, it's like a mozzarella, really. We push on the bottom. You guys did the pizza at home, so you mostly know. We always keep the top on the top, and it's really smooth. And like a mozzarella, we strangle it.
Strangle it.
Gotta strangle your mozzarella.
It is a word. And now we got our one, so imagine we have so many of those. So once we are set with this, we put in a tray and we keep another 12 hours at room temperature in this form.
So you're doing this at least 24 hours before time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, imagine 12 hours have gone through and you need to use it, so we turn on the oven and everything. This dough will be almost ready, but will look like this. This is 24 hours later. There. I'll put this over here, sorry. So right now, this one is still not really ready. It needs another 4 hours outside. So we keep it warmer next to more room temperature, but little warmer. See, if I stretch it, it still comes back because it's not ready yet. So once we have this one, then it's time for our pizza to be formed. With the oven is at 1000 degrees. And you would say, what's the ingredients of your pizza? Why it's so special? It's literally...
Well, I'm interested in the ingredients, but I'm really interested in stretching. I think stretching is one of the hardest parts for any at-home pizza maker.
Smack,
Can
smack.
you give us some tips for how to stretch your dough?
Yes, so this case, this is pretty harder, so easy to play. Like if I need my kids to do this pizza, I will give it right now because it's still hard. You can play a lot with the pizza. But like we usually start, say this one right here. We use a lot of flour in the beginning, but then I'll show you that we clean it up. So we start in the front. We don't have, this kind of pizza doesn't have, you know, the bordo or the canotto that they
The
call
cornicione.
the cornicione.
The like really big crust that you see on some
So we don't care about stopping too early, but we go almost all the way there. So we start in the middle and we push it through. We flip the pizza, keep pushing through, like until we reach our size. And then it's either the flapping method or like a ruota di carretto, we stretch it.
I like the slap method.
The slap, yeah.
Yeah.
So once we get to this one, we don't
You're not
need all
gonna
this
toss
flour.
it? You don't need to toss it in there? Is that not a thing?
We can, but so we got our pizza here. And now what we do typically is use this boy right here. It's
So-
the original peel that they use in Naples that we have to use because they say
Because
we can use a
says it?
metal.
They.
Who's they?
the
These-
Italian.
You know,
Like-
'cause there's actually like an
These people
association,
here
right?
really say it. Like, so we need to do what they say.
They come and check on you.
They
right?
Oh, yeah,
actually
yeah.
do. So we actually get all of everything, all of our utensils, mixers, everything imported. These guys are imported from Naples. Like everything that we use in the pizzeria is from Napoli.
So you say, why use the wood? Because this kind of pizza will slide better in the oven. Usually the metal tend to stick to it. Like if we put tomato and let it rest, you'll see it'll stick. It's so thin they'll stick immediately. So what we do is, we'll need this one. We slide this over here. So once we put our tomato and everything, we slide it over. We open up the pizza, and then you'll see it slide right over, like that in the oven.
It looks so easy when he's doing it. When I'm doing it at home, it sticks on the peel. How do I make sure it doesn't stick on the peel?
Use another peel. There are the metal peel that has holes, so you can use a lot of flour like this. Like if you are home, you can do this one. So you make sure it moves around. Though the peel is gonna go right under, like this, but has holes, so all the flour is gonna come out from here. But if we put the flour in the oven, it's gonna burn. The taste is really sour. It's gonna look just bad.
And real quick, you mentioned toppings. Obviously, you're baking these pizzas off at such a high heat. Even if you're doing it at home in a Gosni oven or an Uni oven, you're getting up to 800 degrees, 900 degrees sometimes.
Yeah, the higher the better in this case, yeah.
And so for toppings, what
So-
are you looking for?
Okay, right now you would say, why the tomato is so good? Everybody say the same thing. We use a Solea tomato that is made for da Michele. So all da Michele in the world use the same Solea tomato. And it's literally just tomato. We open it, we mix it, and we put on pizza. No salt needed, no black pepper, no
No oregano,
sugar,
no
no nothing.
nothing.
It's just
No
a raw
No.
tomato, nothing. So say we apply the tomato, say why, though it is really flavorful, it's tasty. Our salt in this case, it will be the pecorino cheese. They use pecorino romano. So you probably saw it. They put the tomato on top, they sprinkle pecorino everywhere. That's the salty part.
Yeah.
Pecorino is saltier than Parmigiano, so it will help with this one. And then we have, as they say, we have to use only this one. Is Agerola fior di latte that comes every week from Italy. So this is our main. So tomato, pecorino, mozzarella, in this case the fior di latte, and you say, and the basil. Because the oven is so hot, if we add the basil at the end, it's gonna burn. So what we do is tomato, pecorino, basil, and fior di latte. So the mozzarella cover a little the leaves, and then we have our pizza.
I didn't realize that. I thought you put the basil on at the end after it was all
You
done.
can, it's either you take it out of the oven, you add the basil, but if you want the flavor from the basil, then you wanna add it now, and releases the flavor onto the tomato and the pizza.
That makes sense. Okay, so baking, I think this is the part that always really messes me up when I'm working with my Uni oven at home, is how do I get it in there and make sure that it's cooking evenly? Especially with some of these ovens that only have the flame at the back, right? How do I make sure that I'm
In
getting
fact,
it even cooked?
Like if you are in a pizzeria, our pizzeria, whenever we are a pizzaiolo, they all make the same mistake, let the pizza there for too long, and then it's all burned up in the bottom. So this kind of pizza is really hard. Like you really need to go with the pizza peel under and remove it as soon as 10 seconds. flip it next to the fire, it's out of the oven in 40 seconds. Though when we are at home, you see it's getting more color in the front. You just flip it over on the other side so it gets even. If we have an oni outside in our garden, that's what I do. I keep always this part, this part there for like a minute, and then I flip it and keep it on the other side like that.
So you gotta be on top of it like a hawk, basically.
Yes, like we have two guys next to the oven that they are not moving from there. It's like literally you cannot do anything else because it's too quick to do something else. So we have a stretchy guy, the guy that put all the ingredients, and one or two guys at the oven just to do that one.
And so when do you know it's ready?
You know it's ready when our pizza is a bit different. It's like has this leopard all around, and this is just you say, oh, it's still. Some people say it looks raw, though it's the chewiness. Is not the raw. It's not gonna be raw because it's really thin, like a super thin that you can almost see it. It's just it cooks super fast.
Yeah. So you'll see like the leopard spotting all around the crust and then like the bubbles. And it should be like unified like throughout. So in the pizzeria, it takes 40 to 90 seconds to make the pizza because it's 1,000 degrees. You rotate, pull out. At home, it's 5 to 7 minutes because the uni ovens only really get to like 5, maybe 600. They're smaller, a little bit more dense. It can't get this thin at the oven at home, but you just rotate it. You would still rotate it every 40 to 90 seconds at home like you would in the pizzeria. It's just our big daddies at the pizzeria, they're huge. They're meant to make 5 to 6 pizzas at a time. With an uni, you're only meant to make 1 at a time. So just a rule of thumb, every like 40 seconds, just rotate it. Make sure it has that like leopard spotting, a little bit of bubbling. And it, like Chef said, it's supposed to be a little bit chewy. It's supposed to be a little bit wet in the middle and crusty on the outside.
Like all the Neapolitan pizza, you see all the ingredients fall off. It's also a way to eat the pizza, so we slide it over, the top on, and then you eat it. So it's supposed to go that way because you can taste the freshness of the ingredients. It's not too cooked. So when we cook the pizza at home 5 minutes, it's gonna be crunchier than this.
Yeah.
So if you want this result at home, it's either you have an oven 800, 900, 1000, or you'll get a little crispier, but the same situation.
That's awesome. Well, hey, we're at the time where we need to start taking audience questions. So first of all, give an applause to Giuseppe Gentile, and let's get Alex back up here.
Chef.
Do any intrepid at-home pizza makers have questions? Right over here. Okay.
But at home, what do you cook the pizza on, a stone? And what do you think about a pizza screen?
I love pizza stone. I have 2 in my house, one under and one on top. You can move the pizza up and down as you like. But those pizza oven really works.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any thoughts, Alex?
I didn't hear the question.
Pizza stone, pizza screen at home, you using those?
Yes, use it all.
All of it. Over here. I saw a hand here.
The last 4 hours, do you leave it in the tub with flour, or just because I saw it had flour in it, or do you
Yeah.
just let the dough by itself?
No, like if you did the bowl, then you need this. We spread some flour like this. You add the bowl. You can cover it. When you need to use it, then you sprinkle more on top. It's easy to get it.
And how long the bake time was approximately?
For squares,
Squares.
for squares, I like to usually 550 in your oven, whether it's professional or not. 550. Pop a stone in there. 2 stones is great, a baking steel, but I usually par bake for 9 to 10 minutes, and then anywhere depending on toppings. If it was just a cheese square, I would probably hit it at like 12 minutes with toppings, possibly 14.
And then over here, I missed how much salt and how much yeast for the 65%.
Like
hydration.
1 kilo flour. If you're gonna do home, 1 kilo flour,
Chef,
600
we're in the
water,
imperial system.
600, then 3 grams of yeast, and 30 grams of salt.
30 grams.
30 grams of salt.
You opening a pizza shop over here or what? Just kidding.
I have great recipes. AlexKuntz.com.
Who else?
Right,
Who else?
check it out.
Any questions?
We also do
Oh, right here.
pizza making classes, and you can get the
There we go.
recipes there.
At the shop, what temperature are you looking for your dough to be before you put it in the fridge?
So the main temperature I worry about is at the end of the mix. I never really want it higher than 78 degrees. So if it's under 78 or just at 78, we're good to go because it's going to drop. I always do a speed 2 because I'm working with sourdough. I want to get that friction. I want to get that heat. And so it will heat up naturally, but 78 and then it cools down. It usually goes into the fridge about 75, 74 degrees. I usually use 68 degree water.
My head's spinning with numbers. We got one more question here. I think this is our last question.
Forney.
Alpha Forney, hell yeah.
Okay, so how would I do your pizza in that? Because obviously I'm not doing it at 900.
You want to do what pizza in that?
Your pizza.
You want to do my pizza in that?
Yeah. So am I still at 550 on the Alpha?
You're going to want to warm up that brick and try to stay at 550. It's going to be a little tough in that oven, but if you want thin and crispy, yeah.
But I mean in a deep dish.
Yeah, that should be no problem. I mean, that floor heat, it's all about any oven that I'm working with, whether it's that oven, whether it's a Fiero Forni, a huge-ass oven, wood fire burning oven, Gosney, whatever. I always do a 45-minute, like just heat those stones up, and that's going to be great for any square pie. 550.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Luca, Alex, Giuseppe, thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I didn't get your name.
Maggie.
Aggie, thank you very much, guys.
absolutely.
Go see Antica da Michele. Go see Hot Tongue and Silver Lake. Fantastic pizzas. This is the last demo of the day. Anybody coming back tomorrow? Hopefully you'll come back tomorrow, guys. It's going to be kick-ass again. We got an hour and change left today. The pizza box folding competition happening in about 10 minutes on the main stage. Just keep enjoying, eating, drinking, and thanks for coming today, guys. Appreciate it.